So the money. And this is a good place to start because there's really 3 different ways you can make money by speaking in public. Okay. The registration fees. So let's just break it down to our situation right now. Right. All of you paid to come to this conference, but I'm not going to get any of that money. Right. That's not. So that isn't part of this speaking engagement. Okay. You can sell products. Okay. Like, for example, I have a book, right? And I brought a dozen copies, and people might buy them, right? Or whatever. So you can sell products. And finally, you can get jobs. So let's say you're a real estate agent and you do a workshop on a first-time home buyer seminar. Or let's say you're an insurance agent and you talk about the little fine-tuned details in life insurance that can make a difference between a high premium and a low premium. Or let's say you're in any other capacity. You can, by getting out in front of a group and demonstrating your expertise, you can get jobs. And those are all legitimate ways of making money speaking in public. So I want to talk about all of them, but I'm going to focus really on registration and on products, or on jobs, because this again, I want to stay away from the daunting tasks. Writing a book, creating a big product. Sometimes people, they're like, "Gosh, that sounds like an awful lot of work." So you can do it. You can make a lot of money doing this type of stuff. But the easiest ways to make money is registration and getting jobs. So let's dive into this a little bit. Okay. We're going to go through each of those possibilities: Rotary clubs, adult education centers, the trade shows and conferences, and marketing directly. So I'm going to spend just a little bit of time on each one of those. And the first one is these Rotary clubs and Lions clubs. Who here is a member of a Rotary club? A couple of people. So there's a ton of them. I mean, it's amazing. And we'll talk about that in a second. But you're not going to get paid to speak at a Rotary club. They'll give you lunch. It's not very good, usually. Right? But sometimes it's not bad. In certain circles, they refer to them as rubber chicken lunches. But that's neither here nor there. But you're not going to get paid to do it. You're also, a blatant sales pitch is frowned upon at a Rotary club. You can't go in there and just sell. Right? And they're pretty clear about that when you contact them. But you can really position yourself for clients and jobs really well. That's how I've built my business, is by Rotary clubs. And if you just go to their website, I mean, it's pretty amazing. Again, the internet is like the center of my passion. And it's amazing, the things that you can do on the internet. But one of them is right here. So the Rotary Club website has a club locator, and you can put in your city, and it'll bring a list of all of them together. And I made a list of mine in all of the Bay Area and Sacramento. There's over 200 Rotary clubs in the Bay Area and Sacramento. 200. So if you spoke at 4 per week, you could do it for an entire year before you repeat yourself. I mean, not that you would, but you could. And when you put together the list, all I did was just copy and paste into Excel. Okay, so I got my little database, and then I spent 2 days emailing and calling. And I set up 27 presentations. That's amazing. That's amazing. And let's say the average audience was 30 people. Or let's say 20. Let's say 20. Okay, 20 times 20. So we're talking about 500 people. I mean, it's pretty wild how quickly that can happen. Now, just in fairness, I didn't, like, at the end of the second day have 27 things on my calendar. Like, you call them, you send the emails out, and they look for some sort of proposal. So I put together PDF files of the proposals that I was proposing. And by the way, the front cover of the handout has a synopsis of today's workshop, exactly the same format. Okay, I did the exact same thing, and I created PDF files. So I emailed them out to all these people, and then it took maybe 2 or 3 weeks for people to get back to me, and scheduling and this and that. But as far as me sitting at a desk with a phone in my hand calling people, I did it in 2 days and had 27 appointments. And in fact, I even ran an experiment at the beginning. So I essentially, it was 2 days and 8 minutes, because the day before I did it, I did an experiment to see how long it would take me to get the first one scheduled, and it took 8 minutes. So you can do it pretty quick. I got a little bit lucky. I called this guy Craig, and he told me to email someone else, and I did, and he responded right away, and it was done in 8 minutes. So you can do it pretty quickly. All right. Adult education is a fascinating field. And we're not spending enough time on each one of these individually because the 40-minute or 50-minute time constraint, it just isn't enough to go in and do it in detail, but I want to get through all 4 of these. The adult education centers, and there's really 2 camps, right? On the one hand, you have companies like maybe you've heard of the Learning Annex, some of you. The Real Estate Wealth Expo with Donald Trump, remember that? Huge thing is put on by the Learning Annex, and they put on programs all the time. But then you also have these municipalities like Oakland or Walnut Creek or Pleasant Hill or San Ramon that have usually it's in the Parks and Recreation Department, and they have adult education classes like learn how to dance salsa, right, and yoga, and how to train your dog, and a whole bunch of other stuff, which might be precisely what you're interested in doing, but the fact is there's a pretty broad range, and if you submit a proposal, you can get in there pretty quickly. So let's talk about them. You're not going to get all the registration fees. People are going to pay a certain amount to come and hear you speak, and that's not entirely decided even by you. The program director will have some say into what the price is, but usually you'll get about 50% of the registration fees will go to you. And sometimes they'll just pay you a flat rate. It depends on the organization, but let's say, for example, I hold a course for $30, and I get 50%, so it's $15, and 10 people show up. It's $150. That's not bad. It's $150. Right? You do that 3 times a month, that's an extra $450. Right? It can add up. And getting 10 people to show up is not that hard, and if you do one of the popular topics, which, believe it or not, right now includes things like wills and trusts, amazing, but in the business sector, that's actually one of the most popular topics. You get 30 people to show up, you just made yourself $500, and it took you 2 hours. I mean, you have to make the proposal first, but once you've done that, you can do this again and again. Go, 2 hours, you make 5. I think that's great money. Yeah.
How sophisticated would the proposal? Because I remember in a city, adult ed, they wanted to have a whole marketing thing.
Yeah, that's a great question. So the question was, how sophisticated do these proposals have to be? And we don't have enough time to go through that in detail, but the quick answer is that what you submit initially can usually be a 2 or 3 page synopsis, which includes the catchy, hook at the top, and then a little more detailed synopsis of the content you're going to cover, the learning format, who should attend, right, and those sorts of things. And then if they're interested, in some cases they'll ask for more information. But the most important thing, and this is something I cover in workshops that I do, is the title. If you have a catchy title, right, make money with your Toastmaster skills. Ooh, right? Maybe I can offset my club dues, right?
I think the point that needs to be made, Patrick, is both of these opportunities are great times to hone your speech and to practice in front of a real live audience, see their reactions, and give you the confidence to get that 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. That take says it's going from 7,500 to 10,000 next year. These are opportunities to make those better.
I missed the end of his because I had to leave and set this up, but that's 10,000 is better than 500, I would say. But I'll tell you, it's exactly, you're absolutely right, and it's interesting. I have a point on this at the very end of the presentation. You'll be surprised what happens when you start doing this, because at the beginning you'll be nervous like crazy, right? Or, I mean, you probably will be. I certainly was. And you'll start getting these questions from people that you didn't expect. And it forces you to rethink what you thought you were an expert in. And so you have your expertise here, and then someone asks this question, and you think about it, and you do the research to get the answer, and all of a sudden you're just expanding. And then another question expands it here, another expansion. And before long, your expertise is way bigger than it was at the beginning, and you really know your topic, and your confidence is higher, and lo and behold, you can start charging more, and people will be looking for you. And they'll say, gosh, that was an engaging presentation. Can you do it over here?